Well, Abiola Salami is the author of the book titled Abiola Champ. Having directly coached, trained and counseled over 1,000 executives across sub-Saharan Africa, the United Arab Emirates and the United States of America on rocking their careers, businesses and life like champions. He discovered that emotions are powerful as they can make or destroy any individual. Well, for more, let's welcome Abiola Salami to Newsday. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. For the benefit of our viewers, what is emotional intelligence and why did you write this book?
Okay, that's a great question. It's a great question because a lot of people use the expression emotional intelligence without necessarily understanding what exactly it means. So emotional intelligence is simply the capacity of every individual, you and I, to be able to understand our emotions, which is self-awareness. Based on what we know about our emotions, we can manage ourselves effectively so that we can always say the right thing at the right time and do the right thing at the right time. And the other part of it is understanding other people's emotions, and based on the knowledge we have about other people, we develop effective relationships with them, that we can choose what to say and what to do even when we're under pressure. Even when we are not under pressure, we can always put our best foot forward in managing our emotions and saying the right thing at the right time at every point in time. And the reason I wrote this book is because many years ago, and I'm saying that for about 7 years now, I've been facilitating emotional intelligence for corporate organizations, coaching emotional intelligence, for senior executives as well. And I remember a friend of mine saying to me that he thinks that despite all I've been doing in emotional intelligence, that some of my clients don't even know as much about emotional intelligence as much as he knows because of a personal experience he had with me. And he had explained to me that many years ago when this experience happened to him, so I lost my dad, that was the experience, and it was about 20 years ago. And we had a gig, we had something to do on the day that I lost my father. And despite that I lost him that day, I'm the firstborn, by the way, and if you're firstborn in Africa, you know what that also means when you lose your dad. You automatically inherit one wife you didn't propose to and 4 children you probably didn't give birth to. I mean my mom and my siblings. But despite that experience, at that time I stepped up to the gig we needed to do. It was a stage drama. It was a volunteer work, not even necessarily something I needed to be paid for. And so if you were in the audience watching that presentation that day and anybody told you that I just lost my father, the breadwinner, the person paying my school fees, my ticket to the future, you probably would not believe it. And for me, what I understood that time is, in as much as I was grieving, that it's important for me to put my emotions on the check so that I can deliver what I'm supposed to deliver at the right time as always, and I don't just leave people just leave the other team members because I was going through an issue and then I don't step up to my responsibility. So he said to me that is the true meaning of emotional intelligence as far as he was concerned. And I thought about it, that from the testimonials we're receiving from people, who attend my sessions on emotional intelligence, it's just important to put something together that can reach out to more people, that can help them to achieve peak performance and advancement in life, in applying emotional intelligence, in understanding what emotional intelligence is, and in applying it in their day-to-day activities.
Interesting. Unfortunately, I haven't read a copy of the book, but it does sound fascinating. Can you explain how this will help organizations, private and public, in the public and private sector, navigate, especially in this time of COVID, where it has been an emotional roller coaster for a lot of us? What value does it add?
Great. And I like the fact that you said, though you've not read the book,
yes.
But let me just share a few things with you. Mm-hmm. In the wake of COVID last year, we put out an excerpt of the book, mm-hmm. the book, to help people enjoy sound emotional and mental health even as COVID broke. And it helped a lot of professionals, to manage anxiety, to help them to manage the frustration that they are going through, sharing tips with them on how they can, manage their emotions, manage the environment such that they can serve customers effectively. So for corporate organizations, the reason any business is in place is to make profit, is to get to understand the customers and serve their customer, offer excellent service to the customers. So this book has insights that will help professionals to, 1, manage their emotions, 2, teach them strategies that they can use to engage and understand other people as well. Empathy is a big thing in emotional intelligence. Empathy says seek first to understand before you are understood. In understanding your customers so that you can know the right service, the right product to advance to them, in understanding your colleagues so that you can know even how to win their support as well. Because while you're working within a team, you may not have the resources to deliver on the particular project that you need to work on. It is important to learn emotional intelligence, to get the skills from this book so that you can build effective relationship with your peers, with even your boss. You know, some people talk about the kind of relationship that exists between them and their bosses, and they say, you know, my boss is such a difficult person. My boss just demands too much from me. But when you gain the insights from this book, you will even get to understand your boss better. You may realize that this person is not actually difficult. Your boss is just asking you certain things, and if you really understand the demands of your boss and you understand him, you can build a better relationship, and then, of course, you're on your way to back-to-back promotion in the work that you do.
Yes, I like the sound of the back-to-back promotion.
Yes.
Certainly an incentive. But I'm curious, though, apart from yourself, because you told us about your own personal experience, what kind of research did you undergo to write this book? Did you do any case studies?
Okay, great question. You probably observed that the person that wrote the foreword for the book is a Harvard professor, and we just did not create this book as a regular book. We created it as a transformational resource to help people. So it means the content has to be authentic. It means it has to be evidence-based. It means it needs to have global relevance. It means that you also need to ensure that author's bias doesn't come up in it. And it's not just something inspirational, but a guide, a transformational tool. So the number of examples, the number of research that we conducted locally, Nigeria-based, Africa, and even globally as well. And the reason is such that not just that the author is sharing his thoughts and his opinion, but it is scientific, it is proven, it is empirical. And not just about my experience, but validated experiences even of other people. So it's an insightful book, it is scientific, it's not just any other book, it's a resource tool. And a number of people have reviewed the book, both local business leaders, global business leaders, both in business and in academia. And the things they're saying about it is about the simplicity of the book, despite that it is scientific, it's empirical, but the simplicity of the content, and of course the look and feel of the book as well, is just to make it easy for people to assimilate, make it easy for people to apply as well as they continue to study the book.
So you've spoken a little bit about the importance of emotional intelligence within the workplace, but does this book have lessons for outside the workplace, and why is emotional intelligence so important in these human-to-human relationships?
Okay, so it is because all our decisions are emotional, right? The decisions to patronize, to buy something, to spend your money is emotional. The decision to be friends with someone is emotional. The decision to be married to the person that you say you love is emotional. Almost all the decisions we make, they are emotional. So the question is, are you making right decisions, or your emotions is getting in the way of your decisions? So in the workplace, it is quite important that you be a master of your emotions. Even in your private life as well, with your friends, it's important you be a master of your emotions. I mean, your friends may tease you because they know that there's something against you. I mean, there's something that will probably tip you off, based on the way that they talk to you about certain things. Your friends probably know you better. They'll probably call you, probably have a nickname, and when they call you that nickname, there's a way they know by default you would react. But you want to ensure that in as much as they may call you that nickname, for example, that you still want to put yourself in check and you don't always go with the flow. Colloquially, I like to use this expression, I call it mumu button, which is when you don't understand your emotions well, other people who are observing you and they know it, they will press your mumu button. Now, a mumu button, you can call it triggers, right? So they will know your triggers and press. So it's important
I have to press the end button here, not the mumu button. Thank you so much for being on News Day, and we wish you all the best with the book.